Alright, everybody. It's Thalan McRom, and we're loading into our Snowball Earth playthrough that I've been working on, which is, I'm calling it the Frostbitten Realms, what I've named the world. And we're waiting for it to finish loading up, since I just did my mod change out here in a second, to get all the mods loaded into the game. This is a solo game idea, I'll switch out my mod packs when we're doing this. There we are. Yeah, apply now. We have to do a little bit of remapping. Give me a second. Okay, so let's save and leave. We have to restart it real quick, folks. Give me a second. Frostbitten Realms. I added the wooden fortifications mod to give me some fortifications to build around my town. That's what's going on there, folks. And that requires you to remap anytime you add that to a world that already exists. So it doesn't break anything. But, yeah. Now, when we last left off, we had just gotten into the age of metal tools. And I even bypassed copper and went straight into tin bronze. So I got lucky and found a surface tin mine. And so I think today's episode, one of our first goals, is to get a tin bronze anvil going. Then from there, we're going to see about making a saw. That's always one of the first tools I make. Once I get something going. Oh, what's going on here, game? Why are we lagging a little bit? Alright. I had to think about that. Okay. So that's right. We're still waiting on our anvil mold to finish. Inventory is looking okay. We got some cranberry seeds, though. They are not going to like the cold very much. Gonna save those. Got some bush meat, red meat jerky we're saving up here. Taking stock of where we left off at. Alright. I was getting ready to do another round of charcoal because I don't have a lot of charcoal, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Where's my charcoal stored? Charcoal. I see it again. Crowberry, lingonberry, spelt, horsetail. Which we could plant the horsetail. Bunchberries don't seem to care about temperature and seeds. Several of these don't. But we're definitely going to find a warm place to plant things. And so I did add a new mod as well. And that is a mod that lets me keep track of the temperature in an area. So we're going to work on that once we get ready for it. Here we go. There's my journal. Okay. I need more storage. Oh, here we go. Let me put that in there. That's cured. This is now cured, so there we go. Juniper berries are fine. You have to cook that raw fish thing. Yeah. Let's move this. Actually, you know what? No, we'll put that back, because I know what we'll do. Let's get my bowl. We're going to go make ourselves a fish soup. There we go. 1 liter of water. A piece of fish. I think we can add some pine nuts to this. We'll try. Oh, we don't have a vegetable. Never mind. This isn't going to work. I can't make the water. I just realized that's not going to work. You have to have a vegetable for that. And I have no vegetables. Well, we're just going to cook that fish. Where's it at? Okay, fish. Alright, and use 2 pieces of peat here. The other thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to get this prospecting pick mold fired up. So I do really want to get into iron tools. That's going to require me finding iron. Let's see here. Put the bowl away. Or the pot. And we'll dump out this water because I don't need it. Put that away too. Alright, good. That's cooking along nicely there. But welcome, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I hope y'all are having a good day. The other thing I need... Do I have clay around here? Yes, I do. Because I need some bricks as well. Go into our book here. Fires into red clay brick, which I can then use to make this. How many do I need? I need 5 total. There we go. But I'm going to need mortar for that. I don't have any mortar. Yeah, I don't have any mortar. I don't have a way of getting mortar right now either. That finished cooking? It did. Then we'll have this piece of fish for breakfast. There you go. Lion berries will last for a few days, so I'm just going to toss them in here real quick. And let's see here. That's all that. Alright. I was considering building a weir trap to go along with my trout line there. I kind of need a good spot to do that. None of these are particularly good spots to build a weir trap. Here, and elk over there, making it, well, technically a caribou. Caribou, elk, very similar. Caribou's technically a reindeer. Yeah. We're gonna need a few things here. We're gonna need a quern. See, these crowberries are happy with this warmer weather. Let's see what I got here. I got granite. All right. So I can mine this stone out and use that to make a quern. Probably. Gonna explore a little bit while we have some time. Hopefully not run into a polar bear. Because that would be a bit unfortunate. Alright. Let's see here. Let's see if I see any resources sticking out to me. I also have to get some limestone. I think I left most of the limestone up north, I feel like. It's one of the disadvantages of traveling as far south as we have. Now, also gonna need to get some spoiled food here soon. Ooh, what is this? Is this all just forest tile? Does that actually be infertility soil? Oh, we got something over here. Now this peat. Single peat block. Do I have my shovel? Okay. Take that peat with me. Barren soil. Forest floor. What does this count as? Low fertility soil. That's technically an upgrade. Ah. Got a copper vein over here. Let's think a little closer to home. Well, it certainly gives us access to more copper, which is good. Not going to complain about that. Especially because we're not, beyond the Bronze Age yet, so having copper, never a bad thing. Get myself way back out of here, though. Especially with it becoming nighttime. It's going to get colder, more dangerous, harder to see. Go this way here. Alright. One thing that's going to be a real problem soon is tree seeds. We have to get more trees planted. Short the fall there. Alright. Wait. We got another copper node right here. That's really close to home. That's fantastic. Almost missed that one. Works in the offhand, so we have a little bit of light there, folks. So, yeah. Let me knock these birch leaves out, so they're not in the way. So make it easier to find this copper when we come back. There we go. Alright, cool. It's probably not a very big vein of copper. I'm only seeing 2 surface nuggets. Even a small vein of copper will help. Spear out just in case something comes up. Alright. Back to the house here. And hopefully, my pit kiln's done, is my hope. But I can tell from this distance it's not. Some of my large saplings that will sprout soon. There we go. Any fish? No fish since we've been gone. See how much longer this got. 5 hours and 35 seconds. Or 35 minutes. It basically means it's got about, 5 minutes left. There we go. So we got some barren soil, so we'll put that there. Take this bony soil because we can go pan that. Away heat. Away these canes here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright, let's grab what we'll do. So we'll go ahead and just get this panned here real quick. Yep. Go ahead and get rid of this bony soil. Not doing us a whole lot of good just sitting here. Arrowhead. We can always recycle it. Got another bone. Be a tool handle. Alright. And one more. There we go. Ah, Mysterious K, how you doing? Good to see you this evening. No, evening for me. And I put my book down. I wasn't paying attention. That's also why I carry extra torches. There we go. Alright. That's the game. And we'll seal up the house here for a quick. Dirt. Dirt. I'll use some of this low fertility dirt. There you go. Seal her up. Sleep through till the morning. What have I been up to in game? I just started. Right now we're waiting for my anvil mold to finish. This is my Snowball Earth playthrough. And we're waiting for my anvil mold to get done firing in the kiln. And then we're going to go see about making ourselves an anvil. Yep. Alright. Somewhere around here I was storing these. There we go. Alright. There's where my extra bones are going. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Any unfriendly neighbors out here? Just gotta check to make sure there's no unfriendly goblins around. Yep. Cool. And there's our anvil mold. So let's grab that. Set that. You need to set that inside somewhere. Let's see. Pick that up. Come on. There we go. I had to get it into place. Nope, that's not what I want. There we go. That there. So, we're going to make a tin bronze anvil. So I remember where I stored my... So there they are. So we're going to need... There we go. There's that one. Close. There we go. And I hear that. I hear that work. Hold on. Where you at? How did you get over here? Oh. Alright, Bowtorn. We're about to come towards. We're just gonna hop over the fence here. Get a deal with that Bowtorn. Can't have a Bowtorn out here causing problems. That one's the wrong way. Come here, you. Come here. Right. It's one down. Come on. Harvest the Bowtorn, please. There we go. Alright. Take the arrow. Come back here. Where'd the orc go? Orc. There you are. Two of them. Two of them this morning. I'm gonna get my club out. My backup weapon. Come here. Oh, the orc fought this goblin. Oh, there's two of them. One down. Go the other one now. There we go. Good board. These orcs. Terrible neighbors. But at least they bring food and stuff occasionally. There's like a muskox in the lake over there. That one drops a spear. Would this goblin drop anything? Nothing. So we got some extra spears and stuff. So that's useful. Alright. Now back to our smelting. But how are you doing today? You serious, K? You doing good? So let's put that in there, that in there. And we need 16 of these. There we go. Alright. This way. This way. What do you think of games when they have a chance of getting something like... What do you think of games... What do you think of when games have a chance of getting something like a hardware in real life. Of course, it'd be like 100% have a heart, but in game it's 100%. It's a low percent. Makes no sense. It should be 100%. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're trying to ask there. Like, are you trying to ask like the game, um, like the feel of the game, or almost like a heart and soul kind of feel thing type thing? Is that what you're trying to ask? Or something else? I mean, take your time figuring out how you want to articulate it. I'm not going to rush you on that. Okay, spear. But I do think games have heart. They, like, you know, make you feel things, or they have character or spirit to them, or whatever. And you can tell when a dev puts a lot of work into that kind of thing. Like Vintage Story, it definitely is one of those. It feels like, you know, they put in a lot of time, they put in a lot of effort into the game, so you can tell, you can feel that. Get this going here. Do I have enough grass for this? It's more grass, actually. Oh yes, no, okay, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like in Elder Scrolls where you'll randomly get like, you know, a demon's heart or something, you know, but it's not every time. Yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, yes, no, um, it does feel a bit odd when it's not like 100% of the time. It really should be, because like every animal is going to have a heart or whatever, you know. But no, I get what you're saying now. It does indeed feel a bit odd when that doesn't work that way. Yeah, no, I can get that. Um, I thankfully don't have that problem where it doesn't like necessarily break the immersion for me, and I think that's just because I automatically just treat it as well. You know, that creature probably had it, but you may have damaged it too much to have been useful. If that makes sense. That's the way I kind of like treat it. It's probably short enough. I can probably cut it. Yeah, if that makes sense. That's the way I kind of deal with that kind of stuff. Yeah, it had that thing, but you know, if you say you're fighting an animal with a sword, you put a sword through the heart, you need the heart for something. Well, you may have damaged it too much to have been useful. Is kind of how I just deal with it mentally, personally. But no, you're right. It does not make sense. All right, I'm probably gonna need some more charcoal. Yeah, so a game that comes to mind with what you're talking about, where all that is there, are things like Graveyard Keeper. Did you ever play Graveyard Keeper? Well, yeah, like, you know, even organs would just be meat effectively if they got damaged so badly. So they should still be represented by something. So you're not wrong. It should still be represented in some way. Maybe it's more sticks. Sticks. Two. That there. And grab some peat. But yeah, no, I get exactly what you're saying though. I'm gonna guess you've got a couple of games specifically that have done this. Well, so in Graveyard Keeper, one of the big things, since I mentioned it, is you're trying to make your graveyard nice and peaceful and relaxing, right? Um, and the nicer your graveyard is, like the better you do in certain parts of the game. And one of the ways you do that is you basically, when you get a dead person delivered to you, you can try and purify their body by going through and like removing organs and things that they've left sins in and are tainted, quote unquote. And this ends up in this weird thing where you can be like, okay, well, I was able to remove these organs out of this body and it improved it, or, oh man, I just completely ruined this one, but I got some organs that are, like, nice and pure, and you can save them for other bodies to put them in. It's such a weird game. As far as I know, how I'm doing, wish I could get more ganache for chicken, ganache soup, because I have everything but ganache, and it's cold outside. Yeah, it is cold out there. It is real cold out there right now. I'm just gonna eat some of this meat. It is real cold out there. Noki. Sorry. Yeah. I'm not... Yeah, always feel free to correct me on my pronunciation of things. That's also good to know, because now I know how Noki is spelled. So. Now my wife's over here judging me. Look, dear, I am a poor... Okay, I'm not poor and uneducated, but that's beside the point. I'm just a southerner, trying to make sense of the world around me. Sometimes that means I don't know things. And then people like the Mysterious K come and educate me, and it's great. I learn things. Just don't tell Colin, because Colin will, like, laugh me off the face of the planet. Yeah, Euro I know. That one I know. Mostly because we used to have a huge Greek food festival here in the town I live in all the time, and I loved going there. So. Alright. Go. Standing on my character's bed so I quit making that awful, like, bouncing sound it was making. Go. Alright. Now, one problem I've got is I do not have ingot molds. Don't feel too bad about that. Like, I'm not in a dissimilar boat. Feel free to ask my wife about that. Alright, so we're gonna let that cool. And let that finish firing, because I'll use the rest of that to get a prospecting pick. What I think I'll go do now... Mine's more copper, because we need some more stuff. What is over here? Is that penguin? No penguin. So, what is the rift activity? Rift activities medium. We should be fine to go out a bit. But I really need some more medical supplies, actually. Oh, hey, Make-A-Wish. So Vintage My Story myself was looking for a video to watch. This came up. Nothing better. Oh, I love Vintage Story, yeah. This is my Snowball Earth playthrough. It's fairly heavily modded, but my goal is to try and build a little village here in Snowball Earth. I mean, that's an easy thing to blame it on there, Mysterious Guy. That's the easiest thing. Because to be fair, it's not that untrue. That's the sad nature of it. But yeah, Make-A-Wish, to give you back, get back to what I was telling you. My goal is to basically build a small village and populate it with some traders. Because I have a mod that lets me summon traders, basically. Ooh, we got some elk. Well, caribou. Not actually elk. Apparently the word guillotine in French is pronounced way different. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. You can ask my wife about that. She's very educated on French. Let's see if I can't get one of these caribou. Oh, hit one. You have to start completely over after a terminal crash on your... Oh, that's rough there, Make-A-Wish. Where'd the elk go? Here. Is that you? Is that one or something? I hope that's what I'm hunting. Not just you being illiterate. Some things are intentionally wrong. They are. Yes. Yeah, no, I've lost worlds due to terminal crashes before. You're just stuck. It's fantastic. Stay. Stay. Good elk. Caribou, sorry. I keep calling them elk, they're caribou. Elk and caribou are very different. And that one's bigger and one's smaller. Basically. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, these guys are going to be low on... Oh, we got some seed berries here. Take those. Alright, let's see if I can get another one. Because I'm running low on meat anyways. Let's see if I can find that one I injured previously. Right, not that one. You know, I don't know. I've had elk, but I've never had caribou. So I don't know if they taste the same. I would assume they'd taste similar. Because they're both like a variety of deer, basically. One's much larger than the other. Oh, thanks for following, Make-A-Wish. Alright. Definitely need these... Definitely need some of these, horsetails. I'm out of medical supplies. I feel like I just heard an elk up there. What's this? Rhizome bush. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Yeah, it's very, very kind. Oh, thank you for liking as well. My notifications apparently don't tell me when someone likes the stream. I'm live anyways. I'll see it afterwards, but like apparently when I'm live it doesn't pop up in chat. The following and subscribing, all that does. You have to work on my alerts and stuff. How much meat did I get? I got 6. 6. Here we go. It's the oak. Nope. Hear you. Probably down in this ravine somewhere. And I'm going to keep calling them elk. What sound or animation do you have in mind? You know, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. It's one of those things I just hadn't considered, to be honest. Got some peat over there. I don't need peat. I will mark the peat. Because, to be honest, the whole, like, style of my channel has kind of changed. Originally, as I started off thinking I was going to play a lot of, like, space sims and stuff, because I love space games and space trading games. And, to be honest, those have just not done as well on my channel as I expected as they would. And I've also gotten sucked into Vintage Sword. So, you know, I'm still figuring out, like, what I really want my channel theme to be long-term, I think. What's that down there? Oh, we got another copper vein here. Good mark. Actually, I got the stuff. I could go ahead and mine it. Inventory might be a little tight, though. Yeah, we'll go ahead and mine it. We'll go ahead and mine it. Pixel art of a coin being forged. Clink, clink. Oh, yeah, that would work real well, actually. That's a great idea. Fantastic. Might not need to dig up as much dirt as I thought. Dirt's pretty close to the... Sounds pretty close to the surface here. See how deep down we have to go for the copper here, though. There it is. Yep, it's nice and easy. So this is probably not going to be a very big node, if I had to guess. Okay, 2 more. Alright. I just need some more tin, if I'm honest. This one out, just in case. Sometimes these veins can be a little spread out. All of it? Go this way a little bit. Yeah, that looks like all of it. Okay. It wasn't a particularly big vein, but that's okay. Alright. We're going to delete that one off the map here. Those. What logo on the coin? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Let me think about that one. Going back to my base here. Yeah, at one point was working on designing a coin, actually in real life. Wouldn't want to use that logo. Oh, we got some dwarf pine. Yes. I don't have any inventory space for it. Good to know. Can I mark this? Need to stand out. Actually, leave this. There we go. Mod list? Oh, yeah. Let me go get the mod list here for you guys, because I can actually throw that. I meant to throw it in the description. Forgot to there. There we go. Let me get back to base and I'll go grab that mod list for you guys. And I might need to update the mod list actually, because I've added a couple little mods here and there from when I started the series initially. Just get back to my house because it's not safe out here. There we go. Grab these berries as they go. Because unlike a lot of Snowball Earth playthroughs I've seen, I did not disable things like, you know, the drifters and such. So, if I sit outside for too long, I will get I will get attacked. And then, of course, to make it more interesting, I also added, like, fantasy creatures. So there's things like orcs and goblins wandering around. Theoretically, there's also dragons and treants in the fantasy creatures mod. I've yet to see them. I've seen them in other people's playthroughs use the mod, but I've not seen them in mine. There's also usually supposed to be like forms of undead too, but I have not seen any of those yet either. I think I saw one skeleton once. That was it. Alright, here we go. Go pack it up into the shop here. Go. Alright, that will keep them out of my hair. Let me go grab that mod list for you guys. Let's see here. Rounds, where is it? It's multiplayer for it. Here we go. think this has most of it. Alright. It mostly just adds unique enemies. And thanks. Now, it does add some difficulties, because some of those enemies are more powerful. Like, the dragons apparently are incredibly dangerous. As I said, I've yet to see them myself, but I know they exist. Alright, where is... Let me go in here. Let me see here. Stream settings. Can I edit this? Yeah, here we go. Alright, let me go in here. Mod list. Alright, there we go. I've just updated the description of the stream on YouTube there, for those following along. So you should be able to see the mod list now on that description on this stream, if you refresh it. Let me know if that worked. If it didn't work, we'll show you something else. Okay, let's see here. There's my hammer. Good. Not a bad amount of copper there. Fantastic. So I'm going to throw this in here. And good. If I can get a little bit more cassiterite, I can get another 500 units of tin bronze, which I need to feed my character real fast. That is still quite warm. So let me move that here. Come here. Over there, please. There we go. There's that there. Let's do this. We'll do 3 and 3. Do 3 and 3. That'd be the easiest. There we go. Awesome. Yeah. As I said, it's been a bit of a work in progress on the mod list and everything. So that's male and female. I'm gonna have to do something with caribou antlers. I keep getting. Alright, let's see here. Up here, we can put these away. In fact, this. Good to get myself some more bandages there. Somewhere I was storing rocks. Did I not have a place for storing rocks? I did, but it's full. Never mind. Alright. Some fuel real quick. So I'm going to get this cooking before I forget about it. My character's going to be very hungry here shortly. But yeah, so the whole goal of this series, for the boy FR there, is to build a small settlement and populate it with some traders, because I'm using the NDL Villagers mod, which lets you build villages and populate them with villagers. And one of the things you can populate them with is traders. Now, the thing I'm not sure about, I'm going to have to figure out soon, is whether or not I need to get a town center. And if I need a town center, that's going to completely, like, mess up this whole plan a little bit. Because I've never played with this mod before. I can hear a shiver out there. Let's see here. I'm just going to eat these because they're not going to last anyways. Yeah. And so I'm kind of giving myself a slight time limit of 15 lives total to get it done. I did not... This isn't a hardcore world, so it's not like going to delete the world or anything if I die 15 times. Just because, you know, even if I fail the challenge I've given myself, I kind of am enjoying this set of mods I've got going. And so I wouldn't want to just delete it just because. But if I die, in this case, 10 more times, because I've died 5 times already in the series, then I'll call the challenge failed. Is that not... Oh, right, because it can only have one thing of berries. Never mind. Lord. I can put some of these in there. Alright. How'd you... Okay. Bad drifter. Bad. Bad. Just healed all those hit points. And of course he dropped something. Ah. I'm gonna need to make some mortar. I just realized. So to make the chimney that I want to make, I have to have mortar to make the chimney. Which means I'm gonna need a barrel, which means I'm gonna need a quern, which means I'm gonna need to do some smithing. I just don't have the extra materials to do that right this second. I also need to expand my house. This little dirt hut is functional, but not enough. I also can't wait till I have a saw so I can make planks. Because once I can make planks, I can make torch holders, because I have a mod that lets me make wooden torch holders, which I kind of love that mod. I kind of use it in all my modded playthroughs I'm doing right now. Community server, this one. Now, they do have the disadvantage of not being as bright as, say, the brass torch holders. But it's a good intermediary between, you know, having to make brass to make torch holders and having to make and making lanterns. Because if you're making brass to make torch holders, you might as well just make lanterns. You know, it's been my experience in the game, anyways. But then, of course, you know, there's also tastes and aesthetics. Some people like the aesthetics of torch holders, which they do look good. You know, is it gonna fish? Yes, it's gonna fish. Now we can have a real meal. Oh yeah, that filled out nicely. There we go. It's still medium out there. Alright, let's just sleep through the night and see if some of the drifters clear out. Yeah, also give our character a chance to heal up a bit. I just realized. Oh no, I do have light in here. Still medium out there. Alright, let's put that over there. Let's get our anvil. There we go. We now have an anvil. I can hear them out there falling in the water. Yep, see, there's the drifters. So many drifters. Up my food bar here real quick. Alright, so I do need to get some rotten food though, because one of the mods I'm using is the soil additions mod. Is barren soil terrible for growing? We're never going to get a farm set up that way. But we can use it to make a fertility soil and mixing it with rot. We can use the fertility soil to make medium fertility soil by mixing it with even more rot. And then you can get high fertility by mixing it with compost and lime and all that stuff. And then from there, you can get Terra Petra. They're basically using the same components you'd used before by adding the charcoal powder and more compost. So it doesn't like nerf Terra Petra or anything. It just gives you a different route to get there. I don't know what time is the game. It's like 4:30 in the morning in game. I can hear a bow torn out there. That was that sound. Have I read this one? Yes. Okay. Found a lore book at one point. Well, let's check our stuff here. Actually, let's use the dice interface. So this is the fancier interface for the XSkills mod. So we're getting pretty close to another skill point in survival. Still working on leveling up our combat. Which, as much as I've been killing orcs and goblins, I think I would have done better by now. Huh. Power combat level 5. And you can't be a clockmaker to get the warrior one. That's interesting. Let's see for killing enemies. Okay, so that's the specialization. Limit 0 specializations. Oh, I see. I see. So if I'm getting that right, is it? So we can't be a scout. So let's see here. Increases your movement speed on paths. Just increases your movement speed. I see. So some of these like each other out. So this is my first time also playing with XSkills, by the way. Increases your healing effectiveness and your hunger rate. Oof. Evil Chaser. Increases your step height by 100%. That would be great. Soul Bag. If you die, you do not lose the items in your inventory. Strong back ability. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. You begin to go in dark areas, creating a bright area. Light level of 10. Nice. Or cat eyes. But you may lose some colors. Huh. Meteor's Blessing, increased skill gathered. Okay. Okay, so at level 5 of each of these, there's a specialization you can learn. But it basically locks you out all the other specializations. Interesting. Like this one requires you to have armor. So this requires you to have armor. Yeah. Interesting. Composting doesn't. Hmm. No, he's definitely a gatherer when I ever get some farming. Interesting. So this is. So let's do this here. Let's stand back up. Okay. Let's stand up. Okay. So we press O. You see the XSkills interface here. So this is the same set of skills, just with a custom interface. So basically, this is the normal interface that comes with XSkills. The one that brings up that fancier interface is the XSkills Gilded Patch. It just brings up a different interface for this here level up system. Now, this is a level up system called XSkills, and there's several mods that integrate into XSkills. Now, on my multiplayer server, instead of running XSkills, I've been running the Seraph leveling mod, which I kind of like, because it lets you just level up the basic traits of the classes that exist in the game. Alright. There's a goblin over there. That's a boat one. I wonder if the goblin and the boat one will fight. Because the goblins and the orcs seem to fight each other. Great taste, you love it. Come here, goblin. Come here. Alright. That's one goblin down. Come on. Come on, goblin. There we go. Now let's get this boat one. Another boat one. Great. Didn't need 2 boat one. Goblin. That one done. Oh, there's 2 more boat one out here, not 1. Alright, come here, you. Well, welcome, don't call me Shirley. How you doing? Sorry, when you showed up I was kind of in the middle of, like, reeling with these goblins and stuff a little bit. But yeah, no, I love XSkills. This is my first time ever played with XSkills, which, yeah. I'd like to see, like, them and Seraph Leveling kind of work together. I don't know how compatible they are. There we go. Alright. And I got all these goblins and things dealt with. Where's that goblin? There's a boatman right here. So I want all my loots. Had to fight the neighbors this morning. Alright. Did my goblins despawn on me? Feels like they did. Yeah, unfortunately my goblins despawned before I could just loot them. That's a shame. Alright, I'm definitely gonna have to improve my generation. I always ask the streamer, what's one feature you really want in this game eventually? New cave generation, minecarts, new enemy type, potions. Oh man. I mean, yes to all of that. Now this game, if I had my first pick of things I want to see next, because I already know some of the things that, like, the developers got planned. I follow, you know, their discussions and stuff as I can. But in this particular game, I'd like to see alchemy. I think some form of alchemy. That's, I think, what I'd like to see next. And I know that's not in the next list, but you know, I would totally like it. I know currently they're planning on bringing in fishing in the next major update, though. They've got, like, fishing that they're testing. They've got rivers generations that they're testing. I'm very excited about that. And they've also got, what is it? They're working on water wheels. People interested in water wheels. That's going to be a thing. So you won't just have windmills anymore for mechanical power. Very excited about that. I know several of my players in my community server are excited about that too. Because there used to be a mod for making water wheels, but it's depreciated. Especially since they're planning on actually adding it to the base game. I personally use Millwright in the meantime, because I like Millwright. It's a lot of nice things to the game. Comes to windmills. There's bones in there. There we go. Just when I had a place where I was storing antlers. Maybe I don't. You know, I'm just going to toss out these antlers. I don't need these antlers. There we go. Alright. Is my prospecting pick done? Yes, it is. Well, I should say the mold for my prospecting pick is done. Yep, we'll put the bowl right there. Penguin there. And penguin can go right here. So we'll serving of food. Come on. There we go. There. grab this, put it there, get it warming up. You can use peat to preheat your stuff, by the way, folks, in case you didn't know this trick. So, you know, you got to get this up to a certain temperature before it will liquefy again. Well, the peat won't get it hot enough to liquefy, but you can use the peat to get it up to the peat's temperature, which is, you know, in Fahrenheit, it's like 1600, which is still pretty good. And then you can take and get one piece of coal. Just throw that in there. I heard you. Don't have time to deal with your nonsense right now, Goblin. Alright, there we go. So I wanted to pro pick. There we go. Pro pick. Alright, now let's go deal with this goblin that's somewhere out here. Won't work. Could be in work. Where'd he at? I was hearing him. Where'd he go? Yeah, it's a goblin. They can drop their armor they're wearing, by the way. Alright. The only one? Sometimes they travel in groups. But I would also like to see more enemies. We got... Wow, we got double armor. Fantastic. Hilarious. I mean, it's not great armor, but... It's worse than my bear armor, to be honest. It's so funny. Oh, man. You currently do not have enough. Go reconnect your chat automatically in a couple of minutes. Okay, it looks like my YouTube crashed out on me, folks. Hold on, give me a second. Alright. Y'all still with me on YouTube? Looks like y'all are. Okay. I currently have... Am I missing any stream chats there, dear? Okay, looks like it reconnected. I don't know what's going on there. Alright, folks. Yeah, it looks like my recording, or my streaming software was struggling with the YouTube connection there for a second. Yeah, okay. See, make wishes, yeah. Penguin sound I heard. I forgot that I trimmed these bushes and it made them super square. Alright. There's a polar bear over there. That's going to be a little out of our wheelhouse. Can't deal with that. Let's say build a bear trap. I could build a bear trap. Yeah, let's see about building a bear trap. Just heard something. Oh no! This muskox is trapped in a hole. Very, like, deep cave under it. And hey, bud, you want out of there? Let me get you out of there. Can you get out of there now? There you go. I'm not gonna... I've thought about killing that muskox just because, you know, that was an opportune time to kill one. They're worth a fair amount of meat and stuff, but I didn't want to risk his corpse falling down the hole there. That would have been a real pain to get back. Looks like we got some more berries over here I can grab. And these are still growing. What I need right now are sticks. Sticks will let me make the bear trap I want to make. So let's see about finding some sticks over here in the forest. Another caribou over there. See, now I'm saying it right. Instead of calling them milk, now I'm calling them caribou. I don't know why I keep switching back and forth. Because they're not an elk, they're caribou. And in the game, they are mechanically different. Yeah. Lingonberries, lingonberries. Those are ripe. Gotta grab these berries while we can here. Our little bit of summer we've got. You can hunt animals during winter, but not berries. Okay. We'll stack there. Now we're also close enough to see about getting some sticks here from this forest. Keep an eye out for that bear. I already died like twice to bears in this playthrough. I'll try and keep it to less than that. What are these berries over here? These. Bunch berries. Huh. Go. Try and knock some of the branches off these trees here. Actually, I suppose I could save myself a little bit of time here and use the axe. Flint and bones are not something I'm in short supply of, so replacing this would be fairly easy. We've gotten some sticks. Here. Yep. Alright. We got some sticks we can pick up right here. Fantastic. I'm gonna leave the worm. Thought about it. Thought about grabbing the worm. Okay. So let me show you my idea for this bear trap, because I know there's a bear over there somewhere. So we can use these sticks to make stakes. These bundles of wooden stakes here. Which we can then use to make a pit trap. Let's see here, how many can we make here? We can make 3. It's not going to be enough. So we're going to need more. Right. More sticks. Need more sticks. Smarter, we've gotten one of those mods that lets me convert firewood into sticks. Alright. Okay. Take a moment to make ourselves a new axe real quick, folks. Axe. That's what I need right there. Yep. Six. All right. Part of the reason I can't wait till I have shears. I am getting some seeds. Let's see here. What can I... You know what? I'm just going to eat these bunch berries real quick. There we go. I'm also going to eat these cranberries real quick. Clear up some inventory space here. So you can get the seeds. Because I do want these seeds. These large trees. Yep. Now I saw more than one seed. Any over here that I missed? Yes, there were. That's good. Alright. Let's see how many sticks I can... Or how many bundles of spikes I can make now. Make 8. 8 should be enough. Yep. There's that. We're going to need a hole. It's a rabbit. The bear was over this way. There's the muskox. That's not what we're looking for. There's the bear. There he is. See him? Right there. So we're going to dig a little hole right here. Was going to dig a little hole right here. Okay. Sure, that bear doesn't sneak up on me. Alright. So I'm going to actually have to put some of this dirt back, because I need dirt in the bottom for this to work right. This is something added by the primitive survival mod, by the way. This is a pit trap we're building. In this case, a spiked pit trap. We go get some more dirt. Let me go put this low fertility soil down first here. What we'll do is we'll do just to give them a little path up there. Alright. Now, if we do this right, we can also use to sketch things like caribou and such. That's a big hole in the ground. Fall into that. May also need some grass for this. This is also my first time ever trying to make one of these spiked pit traps, by the way. Find out how this works. Oh, there goes that shovel. Hopefully I don't need any more dirt. Okay. This being a bear, I'm going to want this at least like 3 high, effectively. Actually, let's go ahead and get the spikes down real quick. Where are my spikes? Spikes. There. I'm gonna need more spikes. Okay, well, we'll have to continue this project. Second. We need a large tree. A large tree, but we're gonna go to this big one over here. We got some flint. More sticks. Need more sticks. Alright. Switch to flint this time because that'll give us a little bit more durability. Grass here. There we go. Nice. Okay, there we go. This willow tree's just in the way. What am I getting at this willow tree? What is that? Willow leaves. What is this for? Dries into dried leaves, which turns into mulch. Huh. Oh, I can feed this to certain animals. This is one I'm not familiar with. Dried leaves grinds into mulch, which is a fertilizer. Huh. Hello. Hold on. Huh. Things I didn't know. Alright. Well, you learn. And see, that was a feature of one of the mods I'm using. I didn't even know that feature existed. It's a Wildcraft Shrubs and Bushes mod. It's specifically what adds like all these weird berries and stuff we're seeing here in the frozen lands and whatnot. Because a lot of your normal berries won't spawn in this kind of environment. Any more that give me 3 more? Okay. I have exactly enough durability on my axe for that. The goblin really wanted it, right? Alright. Hello, goblin. Came in after me there, bud. So let me go get rid of these spikes real quick. Spikes. Oh. Nearly did it bad. Alright. Okay. Alright. Just barely enough. Alright. I need a little bit more dirt. Alright. Because this is up enough that, you know, it's easy for the bear to get up here. Go. Build like a little platform here. Now, in theory, what I have to do is do like this with more spikes around it. Can I use these for this? Can't use that. Okay. Good to know. But so we're gonna need more sticks. But let's get back to base before too much nighttime settles in here. Should mark it. So that's gonna be like right here. We'll say trap. Trap. Pit. There we go. Red. There we go. I know where I put my pit trap. Okay. But yeah, so in theory, what you can do is you can make a pit trap using those spikes and some grass and stuff to hide it, and animals become curious and wander over to it. So my hope is we can do the same thing with the bear. I'm clearly going to need more sticks for that. Yep. Alright. Here. Oh, good. Pro pick is ready. Obviously, stick. Always keep some extra sticks here at the house. Just for such a thing. There we go. Arch. Arch. Go. Can I do anything special with these besides make the king? Oh, I can use these to make wattle fences. Okay. You can also make a crude shield. Huh. There's the foraging basket. That might not be bad. One thing about making one of these foraging baskets. But for the time being, let's see about getting some food. Just realized I'm also out of dirt. I can use this barren soil here. There we go. Yeah, it's a little early to be going to bed in game here. So let's put these on the hot bar, and then we'll put one in the offhand. That way they don't all go out, so we don't want to lose all of our stuff there. Put that there, put that there. All right, how's this looking? 14 days, 29, 38. Gotta do something with this red meat. I think we're just gonna have to cook it. Definitely also gonna need more storage here soon. Okay. Do I have better prospecting? I just realized. Let me check. Okay. Well, actually, I know a quick way to find out if I have better prospecting here. No. Regular prospecting. Good to know. Actually, that's what I could do while we wait for it to become evening. A bunch of stone. Just laying around here. We could start making some cobblestone. Use up some of this stone I've got. Go. That saves me a little bit of inventory space. Also give me some building materials. Start working on building our village here, I think. We'll start laying out the foundation work. Do I have any more stone stashed away somewhere? Oh, we reached level 5 in survival. Sound startled me for a second, by the way. So I was like, wait, what was that sound? It was just me reaching level 5 in survival. Yeah. Alright. So let's seal the thing up here. We're not being bothered in our house. Let's go into our survival tree here. So we could get all-arounder, which lets us learn one additional specialization. Oh, that's fantastic. Actually. Okay. So then we get 2 specializations. That would be really nice. Let's see here. So this basically turns our saturation bar into a health bar to some extent. So yeah, let's take this all-arounder, because that's just too good to pass up there. So now, if we come over to say combat, yeah, see now we have 0 out of 2 specializations. Not sure which. Increase the amount of damage absorbed by shield. Defender. Increase the amount of damage. Chance to absorb with your shield. You act the parry by 3%. And Guardian. Okay, so. Interesting. I think I'm going to take Looter for my first combat level. Cool, cool, cool. Doopsie. There we go. Alright. We need to cook some more food. I don't really have a lot to cook. So let's grab this here. We're just going to cook this piece of meat. Alpify. Do that. Alright. And do I have my... I got rid of my rolling pin, didn't I? Yep, got rid of my rolling pin. Because you can tenderize meat, one of the mods I'm using, after you cook it. I hope everyone out there is having a good night so far. Well, nighttime for me. There we go. Okay. Make like a simple porridge real quick. Got like 2 grain, bunch of berries. Do that right there. There we go. This should be giving me skills in my processing for cooking. Wow, it is. My cooking is slowly leveling up. Vermont. Maximum value 5. Huh. Cool. Might have to level up cooking. Go. Alright. Back in here for now. Pick this up. Alright, now I'll sleep through the night. Get back to it in the morning. Because the real problem is I need to make a forge, which I now have the stuff to do. I also need to make some ingot molds. Not going to be able to do much without ingot molds. Alright. So let's work on that. So forge, it's just some cobblestone. Done. And grab my clay. Let's make 2 ingot molds real quick. Get these into the pit kiln. We're going to need these. And then we can do some prospecting. Because honestly, the bear trap, well, a cool idea, it's not the long-term goal. There we go. Let's put the clay away. That. All right. Let's get out here. Not hearing any enemies out here right now. It's medium activity, so there could be some drifters about. Let's take half the stack here. I wonder if I can use these with these for this. Can I use these pit kill? Use wheat baskets? Eh, probably not. There we go. Alright, and then let's grab 4 of these. There we go. Alright, got everything we need for the pit kiln. Grass is going to become a real problem soon. Alright, sticks. And it's already on here. There we go. Cool. Beautiful. Okay, let's get our prospecting pick out. Let's go do some prospecting real quick. We've got some exposed rock around, so let's see what we've got in the area. Density. Okay, so let's do this one. Alright, that would do, say, that one. And over here, we'll do like this one. Sapphite, pentite, cinnabar, and hematite. Oh, we got a hematite reading. Okay. Not a good hematite reading. We got one. Got a rift over there. Let's go this way a little bit more. Let's try up here. Down a little bit. Go like right here. Okay. Interesting. So losing the zinc and the hematite. The pentolite stay the same. Question is, do we want to go north or south? We'll try south, because that's going to be easier for us to find a exposed outcropping that way. Because if we can find a hematite mine, we'll go straight into iron. You know, do whatever I need to for that. Do a sample like right in here. So let's break. Say that one there. And then come over here and say, this might be far enough. We'll try it. Nope, doesn't quite. Let's try this one. There we go. And then we can come over here and do like this one. No, I do not have custom music playing. This is the base music of the game. Alright, so the hematite went down. So the hematite's going to be like in this direction somewhere. You know, this is just the game's normal music. It has a great soundtrack, personally. I love their soundtrack. I mean, is the music coming through for y'all very well? Because I can turn it up a little bit if y'all want to hear the game a little better. Oh, so we're up here. We'll do reading somewhere here. Same amount of music, just haven't heard this track before. Oh yeah, so music can kind of change a little bit based on where you are and what's going on in the world. So this is basically like the winter/cold kind of area music. You'll hear it a lot of times in like late winter and stuff if it's really cold out. Let's see if this is far enough. Yes. Okay. There we go. Now the hematite went up nicely here. We also found some bismuth in this area. No tin yet, which is sad. But yeah, no, I love. It's a fantastic soundtrack, and there's a bunch of them. And you can find. So I don't know how much exploration you've done in the game or how much you've played. I assume you've played a good bit. But, like, you can find all those different soundtracks and stuff on like the not the music discs, but the resonance or the tuning cylinders that you can play on like a resonator game. I've not found a lot of them myself, but I do have a few in like my other game. Hematite's getting nice up here, alright. Got decent reading of hematite. Let's go this way a little bit more. There's peat here. Mark that peat. Oh yeah, no, the tuning cylinders are super cool. Like that was a great idea on their part. Especially with like me being a bit of a history buff and loving all kinds of historical stuff, because I was a colonial reenactor for a time, and so I was obsessed with like all kinds of historical stuff. Time. Let's see here. We'll do a sample right here. So do that one. Do like this one. Go over like here. Yeah, we're getting better. So what was this one? This one was 2.6, and we're at like 3.4, still decent. I mean, we could almost, with the readings we're getting here for the hematite, we could probably try and find a way down this cave here, and there might be some down there, but I don't want to deal with that drifter or that bowthorn down there. that. Let's go a little bit further. Take another reading. And see if we start losing the hematite here. We'll have to take another direction. So if people have never seen how the prospecting system in the game works, this is a great time to ask. I'd be glad to explain it to people. As best I can. Like, am I the best in the world at it? No. Am I good enough to be dangerous? Yes. Am I still spoiled by the prospecting mod that I use on my my community server? Absolutely. Okay. Just want to come over here and mark this peat. There's just so much peat around here. At least I'll have, like, fuel forever, it seems like. Alright. Let's see if I can't get a reading here somewhere. We'll do this one over here. This one will give me a good chance to do a reading. Okay, that's penguin. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, we're changing course for a second. Instead of doing a reading, we are gonna do some digging. Make a shovel real quick. Because having found more tin, you can now make some more tin bronze, which will help nicely. And I didn't even, like, change, like, spawn rate is on stuff. Need a stick. Stick. Give me a stick. There we go. Alright. Cool. There we go. It's right here. Somewhere in here is tin. Alright. Let's go down a little bit. There's the tin right there. Beautiful. Beautiful tin. You tend to stay in Copper Age or Advanced to Steel. So I've only ever actually advanced to Steel once, honestly. I tend to go into the Iron Age, which I consider separate from the Steel Age, because of how much more work it takes to get actual steel in the game, since the game uses blister steel. But I tend to get into the Iron Age and stay in the Iron Age. That's where I tend to go. Now, my multiplayer server that I run for my community, which if people are interested, just joining my Discord, it's kind of how you get into the community there. I'm working on getting into steel there. Now, one of my players has already done so. Like, they're already in the Steel Age, personally. But I'm working on bringing the rest of the community into the Steel Age with me. Alright, so let's do this one. Let's do this one. And let's go back this way a little bit. There we go. And very high hematite. Okay. Yep. I think we just found ourselves our mine. Alright, so let's do this. Let's get rid of these. That. Delete that. Alright, so very high hematite here. So I think we'll sink our iron mine here. But to do that, I'm going to need ladders. And another tin bronze pick. Also, I've got to go mark this peat hog, just so I know there's fuel everywhere. Because I try to use peat a lot for my general purpose fuel. And save, like, firewood and stuff for making charcoal. Eat my character's lunch here. Okay. And I'm definitely gonna have to get a farm going though. Definitely gonna need a farm. It's poor tin, but it's enough to get us some more tin bronze. I won't say that. It almost looked like a meteor impact crater, but it wasn't. I still don't think it was. Meteoric iron is something I've also not done a lot with the game. Like, I've gotten some. I got enough in my vanilla playthrough series that I just ended. That I made myself like a meteoric iron pick. 500 shrimp. How did you get 500 shrimp? Are you... And is there shrimp in the primitive survival mod? Their general efficiency? General efficiency is one of my community members. Plays on my community server. I feel like this larch tree's been sitting here at sprouting in less than a day for a while. Let's see here. Sprout in about 3 or 4 days, mature about 418. Doesn't give me like a limitation on like how cold it is. This one is just not. It's not. I don't think it's actually going to grow. No, you're just saying what came to your mind first. Okay, well, you know. I was about to tell you, like, how do I get shrimp in the game? I was about to ask you. Because if my wife found out that we can get shrimp in the primitive survival mod, she's going to be making me make all the shrimp traps. Looking into library dependency things so I can make variants of things easier for modding VS. Nice. Very nice. Alright, let's go get our forge area set up. So, we've got that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten some of this out. Come back this way, I think. I can't really flatten that. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll come back this way then. Pick up these fence pieces that I've got. Push the fence out a bit further. This will be like the forge back here. Go. That'll work. Do like across here. Cool thing is, I can now use some of this. How do I make this into fencing? I want to make this into fencing. I still need sticks. Okay, I just need less sticks. Interesting. Okay. Tempting to mod in an admin item that's a rock that crashes the game of whoever you throw it at. You know, that just feels mean. Oh, goodness. So let's do stick, stick, stick. No, it was stick, stick. Put that back. Then that. Except I don't have a knife. I forgot to go back and get my knife handle. Or my knife for handling. To be fair, getting your game crashed by a pet rock with googly eyes is sort of funny. You're not wrong. That would be sort of funny. We'll make like 3 sets of these. We also grab 1 bone. And rocks. Yep. Okay. Knife handle? Or knife. go. It's back. Knife. Go. That's using up some of these random branches. And I do like the fact this lets me actually make different colored wattled fences now. It's kind of good, actually. Oh yeah, look at that. I actually kind of like the look of that a little bit better. That looks more like an actual, like, wattle fence. There we go. Come at me, goblin. Come on. Man. These goblins are poor. They're not bringing the loot. The orcs always bring loot. Alright, let's get our forge set up. So we'll put our forge, like, here, maybe. We have to put in, like, a dirt block or something up here. We'll just do regular. Yeah, that'll keep it from cooling off, or being put out by rain and snow and stuff. Actually, what I can do is just do that there, make that walk around easier. Let's go get our anvil. There we go. Alright. Anvil. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put that there, because then I can put like a little fire pit there. Yeah, that's coming along nicely. Okay. Knife. So, eaten, very short. Grass. Let me actually go grab the fire, but I need to do that first. Yep. Just level that back up. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Now we have our full, like, outdoor smelting area. So we can do all our work for forging all outside. Grab this. And that's still working, so we don't want to do any smelting just yet. Okay. There. Got 5 hours left. Nice. Alright. Actually, what I will do... So I'm just going to put down the rest of this fencing here for the moment. So I'm not carrying it around. Well, I am wearing, like, as much warm clothing as I can find. Like, I made a fur coat, I've got the fur boots, the gloves. My shirt's in terrible condition, but I'm also wearing the bear armor. And the bear armor specifically adds extra protection to your cold tolerance. Like, it was really bad in the beginning. It's also summertime. It is, well, it's coming towards the end of summer. It's September now in the game. So we're starting to hit fall. And also, I'm standing next to burning pit kiln. I can set myself on fire if I needed to. Alright. We'll take the tongs out there. Let's get the tool rack outside. Yeah, like, once my bear armor breaks, though, that's going to be a real problem. As far as, like, staying warm goes. There we go. And see, now I can put my hammer here, instead of carrying my hammer around in the tongs. Beautiful. And it's saved me so much space right there. I do need to get another round of charcoal going, but before I do that, I need to pick another axe. Grab another bone. Go. And also grab out my flint. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. And nice. So now, take our larch logs and our mostly dead axe. Go. Let's finish those off. Cool. It's over here. Get started on refilling the charcoal pit here because we're going to need a lot of charcoal. To get the whole Iron Age thing, since we found a high reading for iron over there. So, I really should explore the rest of this area out here. What is this? That's just an interesting looking thing over there. I'll have to go look and see what that is. That's a bunch of ruins. I think that's actually a ruined church from the shape of it. I could be wrong though. See if there's anything else I'm missing that's obviously something interesting. I think this is a limestone biome over here, so I'm gonna have to go over there and get some limestone. Once I want to get into leather. That's an interesting shaped pond. So that's what the traders show up like. Kind of hurting myself not using the true color map, but this gives you a better idea of the topography though that you're dealing with. Right. Let's put the character to bed though. Get laid out. I want to be out and about and goblins and things show up. And we also should probably feed my character. We'll finish off these lingonberries here. Once we can get those ingot molds done, make some metal ingots, and then we'll make some of the tools we need, like a saw. Saw is one of the first tools I go for. That and a chisel. We're going to need a chisel too. That was a big hit off my hunger. Alright. Get some of these berries here. How's my food bouncing? Terrible. Not looking. But I've just heard a penguin potentially volunteer for offerings of food. Take like 6 of these pine nuts. There you go. Alright. Actually, that's one of the things I should also do today. I should go get more of those dwarf pines and plant them closer to the base. Those dwarf pines are a good source of protein. Alright, well, let's check out here. See how things are looking. The torching off hand so we can see in this early morning light. Calm activity, so no bad to worry about. I just want the molds. Ingot molds acquired. We have to cover that up. Okay. Let's do this. There we go. And that can be where the ingot molds live. Beautiful. Alright, let's go grab some tin bronze. Smelt us a bit of tin bronze. Go and go. Need what? I think about 6 pieces of charcoal. Take 7. We'll take 7 just in case. Alright. And the reason I use this ratio, folks, this 92 copper nuggets to 8 tin nuggets, is because that is the most efficient tin ratio you can use for making your tin bronze. That's why. Take that out of there. Just put like 4 of those in there for now. And since tin tends to be the scarce of the two, I tend to be more careful about my tin than I do my copper. And actually, if I was being super efficient, what I would do is actually do that. Let that burn first. Get it up to temperature. Well, that's interesting. I think there might be a slight bug being triggered by... No, okay, it's coming back down now. I was like, something seems off here. Why is that getting much hotter than it says the wood will get? There we go. Do that. That you can use wood and things to help preheat your metals and stuff a little bit. Save yourself some of your nicer fuels. And you should be up to smelting temperature. Oh yeah, it was 1900 degrees I had to get up to. Almost 2000. Alright. Actually, I'm going to grab my pickaxe mold too, because we're going to do one more tin bronze pickaxe, I think. Yep. Because we're going to need at least one more tin bronze pickaxe to get down into that iron. I guarantee it. Then I'm going to have to start making fire clay. Because I'm out of fire clay. Well, yeah, I'm out of fire clay. I think I've got like 2 left or something. Because I was so desperate for clay that I made some stuff out of fire clay, which I feel bad about in hindsight. But I needed it for survival purposes. Alright. Yeah, this might make it. I might not need to put these 2 in there. I'd rather err on the side of caution and throw one more piece of charcoal at it. There we go. Alright. Our first 2 ingots. Go. Just put that there. Cool. Now we can put the tongs away. Let that all cool off nicely. Alright, let's go get those dwarf pines there. That gives us an extra source of protein that isn't animal-based. Not that that's a limitation I'm working on or anything, just extra food is extra food. Penguin? No, those are the... That's the caribou I'm hearing, not penguins. You hear them over there? A ton of them. Ton of caribou over there. Alright. Right way. Move this way. Further this direction. Must need to empty out my inventory more. Keep running off on these adventures without taking all this stuff out of my inventory. Yep. This hop. Yes, I can. Might make that hop. Oh well. It's okay. My kid's not here to tell me I failed at parkour. Alright, so let's do that. Get some cuttings. Let's find nuts in here. Let's see here. Empty. Empty. Ripe. Go. Mine empty. Ripe. But... Cuttings, 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 cuttings. There we go. Alright. Beautiful. So these dwarf pine cuttings you can go plant, and they'll basically just become bushes. Forest floor. Good thing about that forest floor is it gives me a source of low fertility soil in this barren waste of soil that I'm dealing with. Alright. Now I gotta decide where to plant my dwarf pines. Yeah, I kind of fell in love with these dwarf pines on my giant journey south to get to this place from where I started at spawn. Because I kept finding them as I was traveling, and that forage kept me alive. I think I'll put my dwarf pines, like, over here. Yeah, we'll do, like, right over here. This would be a good spot for my dwarf pines. Go. 3 there. There. Get rid of the rest. There you go. Do another little patch right here. There we go. Grow in about 15, 14 days. Nice. Okay, let's go investigate that interesting site, actually. Before I get ahead of myself. Let's finish dealing with our iron, our smithing and stuff first. Before I go investigate that interesting structure I saw on the map. Is that? Nope, still cooling off. Okay. Alrighty. Now we'll go investigate. So, finish off my pine nuts here. Actually, can I plant these? Can I plant them directly from cone? Let's find out. No. Answer is no. Okay, well, that's fine. So to convert these into food, you just put them in here, and there you go. The other good thing about them is they last a really long time. Even in your inventory, like for example, these will last 80 days sitting here in my inventory before they'll start to perish on us and go bad. So they're great survival food, even if they're not like super high in food value. The other reason I want to get a saw is probably my first tool that I'm going to get. Because once I get a saw, I can make a bucket. Once I have a bucket, I can make more cattails. And then I can cook said cattails as a source of vegetables. I think this is the tin mine I mined out. Definitely a hole in the ground there. We're not going to go down there. You can see something down in there. You think if VA added the ability to add villagers to your own town, much like Terraria, this would be a feature you'd enjoy? Oh, absolutely. So I'm playing with a mod that does that. Don't call me Shirley. I'm actually playing with a mod for that very feature as part of this playthrough. My goal is to build a village over there near my character's base of operations and populate it with traders, because that's one of the things you can populate it with in the mod I'm running. So I think that'd absolutely be a feature I'd play with. And so the mod I'm specifically using is NDL. I think it's NDL villagers, and it does have just generic villagers that you can get through use of a town center. I think I've been down this one. Yeah, I've been down. As well as you can also get guards that will guard the town. And then you can also get traders. Now, the traders do not, or the merchants, traders, whatever you call them, they don't require a town center, as far as I'm aware. They can just be summoned through use of building them a house and making sure it meets the conditions, and then adding a specific item that causes them to spawn after, a random number of days, basically. Where the villagers, on the other hand, require you to have like a town center and stuff. Another copper node. But that requires you to find something called an altar on the map, and I've not seen an altar. So, if I do need a town center for spawning my traders to populate my town, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I've yet to see an altar to make said town center. But I do think it would be a great feature in the vanilla game. Sort of ruin. Some kind of Arctic supplies vessel. I don't know that I have enough inventory space for that right in a second, but we'll take it. Oh my goodness, I'm rich. That's medium fertility soil. What's this? Granite cobblestone. Okay, so we've got all kinds of like stuff down here, including I see a rusty gear down there, which implies generally that there's a ruin nearby. Mark that. Ruins. Cave. Maybe. Change that actually. To something that's going to stand out a little bit more. And this is ruins. It's got a farming vessel. Got something down in here. Yeah, we can get down in here. Cobblestone. There's all kinds of stuff down here. Trouble. This is a big room. Let's break that real quick. Utility soil. Spiderweb. Stony rubble. Metal barrel. Spiderweb. Junk crate. Stony soil. Let's take this out here. What do we have here? Another farming vessel. So we got 2 farming vessels down here, so let's mark that. Hadn't used the mod in Deal Villagers, really want to. I'm thrown off by the top hats though, or am I seeing this wrong, and is the mod fairly immersive? No, the top hats is the thing for the villagers. Or for the traders. You're not wrong there, and yeah, I understand. It is a bit odd. But I'm testing it out on purpose. We've got medium fertility soil here. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I have to mark that. So this is a farm. There we go. Yeah, no, you use the top hats to summon the traders. But the regular villagers, it's based on like beds and being in a town center and stuff, kind of like Minecraft villagers. Just heard something right here. Okay, I heard the muskox. I was like, I just heard the deep rumble and like a bear. No, muskox. Okay. Is that a trader there? No, it's another ruin. A lot of ruins over here. So yeah, we'll have to use top hats to spawn them in when the time comes. Before then, I gotta get to the ability to make beds. So there's some bony soil here. Bony soil there. And there's a deep hole right there. The ladder. Look at here, ruin shelf, cracked rubble, low fertility, grassy soil. Right. Ruined reed chest with some smelt seeds, nice, and cracked farming vessel, tool vessel. Oh man, All these ruins over here are kind of like really good. Yeah. Another farming vessel. I kind of want to know if you contain muskox. War vessel. So this is like a whole village over here. We found a sandstone one. Definitely saw something running around over there, but I don't know what it was. Oh, we do have another trader over here. Seeing if there's any buried secrets here. You know, this playthrough would make good use of the snow shovel thing that they're working on in the next update. They've shown videos of. See what kind of trader we got here before we head back. That's a polar bear. What is that polar bear doing? Is that polar bear literally fighting penguins? You go. There he is. Where's that polar bear? Well, I was going to see what kind of trader this is, but I don't think I am right now. I think that's the polar bear's trader. Cave. I did bring my propane. We could see what kind of samples we can get around here. It adds pick and allows you to eat inedible items. I mean, you could do that. I think there are mods for some of that. Weirdly enough. I think that is actually a thing. Because I think there's one that lets you eat, like, ores or something. Ultra high self-rate. So if I want zinc, this is where I should come. Okay. See this little circular indentation over here. This almost looks like somewhere that would have been a meteor impact. It's too big. They're usually smaller than that. Yeah, so on my starting spawn, I spawned on like this small landmass far to the north. And I basically had penguins and caribou for food. That's basically it. What is this? Right here. I guess see what kind of tree this is. Feed vessel. Great if I could farm. Cedar. I heard something rumbling around here. Oh, it's muskox over there. Okay. There's low kind of rumbly noises the muskox make. Oh, it's kind of startled me a little bit because it's just slightly off the bear sound the bears make when they're about to like maul you to death. Grab a couple cranberries here for the trip back. All right. Oh, God, that's a bear. That's a bear. Dude, my brain is taking to process. What's that large, brown thing I see? Brown thing was a bear. Follow me? No. Okay. We made it. By the way, this is a, for those who are not familiar, we have the expanded foods and culinary artillery mods. This is the kitchenware trader. And they'll sell you things like spiels and cauldrons and stuff, and you can sell them like spiels and cauldrons and meat racks. Actually, meat rack was probably fantastic for me in this particular playthrough. Alright, but yes. Very good. Have a nice day. Okay. And what's really cool is they normally have all these crops growing on top of their thing, but because I'm playing a Snowball Earth playthrough, all the crops are dead. I appreciate the fact that it, kept those crops to the same standards that they normally would be held to in the game, responding to the trader. Just like, nope, too cold here. These crops are dead, even if the trader is sitting inside a nice warm house. And also, the kitchenware trader there is one of the few times I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I want the thievery mod turned on that lets you steal stuff from traders, because they have things like, cabbage and whatnot growing on the roof, which if you're struggling to find seeds for, it's a great way to get them. So. Is that muskshots or bear? Whatever. That's muskshots. I have to be careful through here because there's occasionally like wolves in this area. Not very often, but occasionally. There we go. Oh, good. We got some fish. I have an inventory space for said fish, but we got some. Alright, here we go. I'm going to throw... I'll keep that actually. Put this in here. This we can throw back on the food pile. Yep. Throw the extra berries in here. I really gotta start sorting out my inventory a little bit. Let's get a torch so we can see. Ah, hi. That's why the music's kicking off on us. Alright. Fish. Go. Let's see what we got in the way of fish here. Any eggs? That doesn't look like it. Alright. But that gives us enough to make a nice meal. Fish. Go. And we'll grab a couple of these nuts, and we'll use some of these sea berries. Yeah. Beautiful. traders when you steal their liver. Yep. Gotta love the traders in this game. Got that. So let's come over here. Alright. That pick is ready, so we'll do that. And there's my sticks. Pick. There we go. Also 27 viewers. Yeah, no, that's pretty good for me. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Feel free to chat. I am reading chat and responding to questions and commentary and whatnot. So let's grab that. Right. Go throw this in here. How much I got left in here? 200 units. Okay, let's put that there. But I hope everybody's enjoying the stream. The goal right now is to get a saw. So if I can get a saw made, actually, let me keep this out. We will put this. Put that. Bad drifter. Bad. Come here. Yep. Bad drifter. Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I want to set up my little torchlight so I can see while I'm forging, and the drifter's trying to hit me in the face. It's a rude drifter. Give me a second, folks. I'm just going to check something real quick. Oh, yeah. Getting good viewership. Alright, cool. Alright, how are we looking on? Yep. You're going to be a saw. And this is where I find out if I've got Smithing Plus installed or not. I don't think I do on this playthrough. So Smithing Plus is a mod that has a number of features when it comes to smithing. One of those features is that when you snip off extra bits of metal, every like 2.2 of these squares, you get a nugget of metal back. So let me tell you, that feels really good, being more efficient on your smithing. It also adds some features of, like, you get extra durability if the tool's forged, but you lose a little bit of durability if it's a cast tool. Okay, there's that one. Oh, I do have something plus as well, because I have some tin bronze bits there. There we go. So yes, I do have it installed. And next we want the chisel. Yeah, let's do the chisel next. So I'm going to need the chisel. Yep, chisel. We're going to need to get a quern going. There we go. Nice. Alright. Almost done with this chisel. Cool. Let's put the hammer away. Then actually grab the torch for now. Torch is here for the moment, so I can see. Oh, hello. Nope, bad drifter. Ah, I escaped. Okay, well, kind of changes my plans a little bit. I was going to go quench the metal. The drifter had something to say about that. There we go. Move the dirt down into here, and we'll put tin bronze in there. And no, it does not mind that there's tin bronze that is technically burning hot in a reed basket. It's completely fine. This is normal. Worry not about the implications of such things. Go. Cool. There we go. We've had some food. Just gotta wait for the chisel to cool, which we can actually do that by just putting the chisel right there. Beautiful. And we'll sleep for the night. Hopefully wake up in the morning with less drifters about. At least that's my goal, anyways. Oh man, we didn't even lose food in the middle of the night because we went to bed nice and fed. Alright, so let me go about seeing about making a bed here. Wooden bed. Okay, so just same recipe, but with planks and cloths. Alright, let's see if I can convert that into bed. Alright. And still high temporal activity out here. Great. Looks like my drifter wandered off, though. Here's what I wanted, so I get this away. There we go. Yep, work. So for those who haven't seen the Fancy Creatures mod, that's an orc over there, wandering around. Good morning, Chitter. How you doing? Come here, Chitter. Come here. Come here. Yep, that Sugar's dealt with. And the orc should be along in a second. I'm outside my little fence. Where'd you go? Where'd the orc go? Orc, where'd you go? Just wandered off. What's going on over there? It's like there's something up there on top of that hill. Could be caribou. They sleep like that sometimes. Alright. Well, looks like the orcs wandered off, so I don't have to deal with the orc this morning. But now that we've got a little bit of... Actually, that's something I should do. Let's go plant these large trees here. Let's see here. Got one there. Let's see, about one here, maybe? So this will sprout in less than a day. So does this one. I feel like it's too cold out here for the large trees to even grow. Kind of the impression I'm getting. Pretty bad when it's even too cold for the large trees. We'll save the rest of these seeds. We do the whole giant underground farm thing. Might have to plant one underground. Yeah, well, let's go cut down some lumber, because I need some more lumber. Because I want to build my house and the village stuff out of, you know, planks and things. So we're going to need some more lumber for that. Also, I'm going to need some grass. Actually, let me go ahead and get some grass. That's what I should have made. I should have made sickle. Scythe. Sorry, scythe. It's on the long pole, it's a scythe. If it's a short handle, it's a sickle. case people were wondering what the difference is. We're getting there. I kind of wish, like, tall grass would give you 2 pieces of grass instead of 1. You know? Anyone else feel that way? It's a temporal rift I don't feel like dealing with. Oh, we got some more tin right there. Beautiful. Get some more tin bronze going. In fact, I might go mine that out right now. Okay, let's see here. Do that. Let's see here. More tin on the surface. Okay, let's get in. And it just follows the pattern. The last ones did. Oh wow, this one's right here at the surface. That's even better. It's still poor quality, so I'm only getting 1 nugget per block of ore here. Which is a little unfortunate, but very common with tin. Especially these surface nodes. But that is here. These. We can get rid of that. I don't really need that. There we go. I talked about it a little earlier. What new enemies, mobs do you think should really be in the game? Okay, so there's a number of mobs I could see being in the game. Some form of undead, I think, would be pretty good. Just because it could kind of fit the theme. So we all know that kind of like the big bad of the setting. So I'm going to label this spoilers slightly, folks, because we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that happened. Water monsters, fantasy style creatures like goblins. I was thinking rot focused, so that's where I was going with this. Because it's very clear that the storyline is kind of going that way from what the developers have done so far and said in the story content that they've put out. So I kind of want to see, honestly, just the next bits of story and see where that's going. I want to see the rot stuff. Like, I think they could do a lot with it. Oh, we got Chromite in here. Interesting. You know, it'd be a great way for them to introduce some sort of like rot monster, like, you know, maybe I said undead, but you could do sort of zombie-like creature that is basically a human who's been infected so much with rot that they've kind of lost their mind and are now wandering around trying to spread the rot. Not necessarily if you're like, you know, the classic zombie bites or anything, but through their presence and being in the area, and that you need to like kill them and like burn the bodies and stuff to get rid of the, you know, fungal infection or whatever the heck the rot actually is, since that's never made clear. Yeah. What is that sound? Anyone else hear that in the game just now? It's a weird sound. It sounded like some sort of weird caribou noise, but it wasn't like a caribou. I can see caribou over there, so I'd expect to hear caribou. We got some more ruins here. Mark that on the map. Ruins. Gonna head back to base real quick because I gotta just offload some stuff. It was just a caribou, but just like really far off. Welcome to the stream there. Rolly, if I'm saying that right. Will I? That's on Twitch, because I am streaming to both Twitch and YouTube for people watching. I know I don't have like the chat overlays, but I'm streaming to both. Let's go process this tin we mined real quick. Get that out of my inventory. And I also need to work on building a quern. Keep saying that. I should actually go ahead and build the quern. Especially now that I have the chisel. Assuming my chisel isn't still burning hot. To the touch. But did I answer your question there, Don't Call Me Shirley? As to what kind of creatures I would like to see? Now, obviously, I'm also playing with the Fantasy Creatures mod, so you know, I'd have no problem seeing like fantasy creatures in the game either. But I don't know that that's something that the developer is going for, per se. Oh, that person left. There we go. Alright, we got enough. We could do another smelt of tin ore, or tin bronze, I should say. Something underused. I want a mod that physically grabs onto the player and sticks to your screen. Not a spider, but something that wraps arms around you and you have to break free. Maybe add horror. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. And again, that would apply very well to something like the rot monsters. Because if they're trying to infect you with rot, they need to get the rot on you. So I think that's a completely like valid idea. I can think of people who would probably struggle with that I know personally, but, you know, is what it is. Alright. Carry behind here. Are you not stacking? There we go. Stack those up. Alright. Let's see here. Put these birch branches anywhere. No. I'm out of... Well, I'll just throw these in here for you. Yep. What I'll do here is convert this to that. There we go. Let's see. Chisel? Oh, good. My chisel's cooled off enough for me to use. Yeah, let's get another tool rack. Start on the back wall here. There we go. Nice. Now, there we go. Okay, so I do have to convert it to rope first. There we go. And behold, the great and powerful bucket. One of those powerful tools in the game. Go. And now, I'll show you the magic bucket. There we go. Magical bucket has allowed me to convert cattails into cattail roots. Behold, almighty bucket. You know, I meant to ask the community today when they want to hit the lazarette, because I could do it tomorrow. Like, nothing would stop me from doing it tomorrow. Except maybe time and the kiddo. You know how the kiddo gets. Sometimes he's all about like, yeah, let's do vintage story. And other times he's just like, I'm gonna play other stuff. And then he's like, why don't we ever stream? I'm like, when I ask you to stream, you don't join me on stream? Like, the whole thing. But I think we probably should give up. So, general efficiency, since I'm streaming right this second, why don't you go into the community thing and see if people are interested or if they're able to do it tomorrow. I imagine like some people won't be able to, because I imagine Leaf will probably be working. He seems to always work Saturdays and stuff, which I feel bad for him about that, but it's life. Unfortunately, we all got to have them jobs. Jobs got to get those dollars to pay the bills. Unfortunately. So throw it in there. Let's see who responds. If I wasn't streaming, I'd create like a poll for people to respond to it. Moving it in a second. I should probably do something like add a moderator that can do that. That'd probably be wise of me to do that for the community Discord. And again, for people interested, at least in the YouTube description, there's links to the community Discord and all that. So if you're interested, feel free to join. We're kind of a pretty chill bunch. Okay, I got some seeds. Maybe we'll just get this one down. Yeah, no, it should be. Oh. Okay, what are you doing now, general efficiency over there with your whole like landmine craziness? So for people's context, general efficiency and my son have an ongoing like I don't know what you'd call it, pranking thing they do occasionally. It all started when one of them found beanades. If you don't know what a beanade is, it is a grenade that you can actually make in this game. It's completely vanilla. And it summons an angry swarm of bees. It's fantastic. Oh, general efficiency. Did we ever test beanades against the boss of the archives? I don't remember. I think we were planning on it. I don't know that we actually did. Did you guys go on the server just running around, just running a town together? So we have a central area we're trying to build a centralized town in. But currently most people just kind of have their own thing going on at the moment. Part of it's just been, everyone's been so crazy busy with, like, real life. We haven't actually had time to sit down and work on the main central town. We're also running through the story POIs, because several of our community members have never gotten to do the story content. And so we're working our way through it. I've currently been doing road projects, connecting, like, the various little settlements where people have got their houses and stuff towards central town, where the spawn is, which I built a library at, where we're putting like lore books and stuff we collect. Yeah, general efficiency is probably the furthest away from central spawn, down there on the southern coastline, and he's kind of the next major road work project I've got after I finish the current one. I'm going to build a road down to his village area / house to give us access to like his little shipyard. This juniper bush is I found earlier. Is Juniper still a serf? No, we've let him stop being a serf. He's got some rights back. We do still throw worms at him occasionally, though. And the joke there is, for people who are missing the joke here, is so my wife is kind of like one of the cooks on the server, and she does like a lot of cooking and farming. And she's been working on a project where she's been doing a whole bunch of distilling and brewing and stuff. and General Efficiency found his way into her brandy and wine casks. And so, the punishment was he was demoted to serfdom for stealing the wine and drinking like a barrel of her wine. And therefore, we threatened to cut him off from, the alcoholic beverages on the server entirely, but, it was voted by the community in the chat that that was too harsh and too cruel. Look, it's not my fault that she stores her wine out in the front yard. I can't fix that. I'm gonna check something here. This hole in the ground just looks suspicious. It's just a hole in the ground. I was hoping it was a crater. Alright, time to start working on getting the quern up and running. Mike brings all the boys to the yard. That is very true. Time to start quartering. That's interesting. So, that counts. Huh. Yeah, General Efficiency has now started making his own alcoholic beverages. But have you figured out how to make whiskey yet, General Efficiency? Sitting there reading through the stuff as my wife was getting into it. And I was like, wait, you can make whiskey in this game? And I'd learned to make whiskey. Which my wife's lucky that I don't steal the whiskey when she's making her brews. Because in real life, I like bourbon myself. Actually, let me do this a little more efficiently here. Let's do it this way. Yeah. This one out. That should be more than enough stones to get myself that quern I want. There we go. In case people haven't seen it before, that's how you mine out actual blocks of stone. In the vanilla method. I know some people don't know how to do that. It may be new to watching the stream, If people have questions about stuff in general, feel free to ask in chat. I've played... Since I started playing Vintage Story, what, about 6 months ago, dear? 7 months ago? Something like that. Yeah. I've put in around 700 hours or so. Alright, let's see here. So we're going to need T-shape. We're going to need a chisel. We're going to need a hammer, which I don't have on me. Alright, let's try this again. Hammer. No, actually, these go down here. Think about this. Been so long since I've had to make one. There we go. Alright, we have a quern. I'm going to put the quern. I'm going to put it out here somewhere. Right there. So now we can go and find limestone. Hopefully that's limestone over there. That's what I hope. Let's check. Let's see here. So when I came south, I passed through lots of limestone areas. Yeah, I think that's limestone. I think that's going to be limestone. So I'll have to go over there. Is there a world where I didn't get attached to Vintage Story that is world the Book of Revelations happens? Fair. Because Vintage Story is a great game. I love it. Like, as I tell people, like, you know, I played Minecraft from the early days for a long time. And I love Minecraft. It's a great game. Vintage Story is the game I always wished Minecraft was. And didn't know it until I played Vintage Story. Alright. Let's see here. I'm going to stuff this block of stone right there. Here we go. Do that. Well, no, I'll just save these. I think I have vines stored somewhere, don't I? Yes, I do. Yeah, perfect. Oh, good. I do still have some fire clay left. Not enough to do anything, but I have some. Alright. Put my barren soil in here. -2. I'll keep 2. Oh, that's the fertility, not barren. Never mind. Peter. There's one apart. Okay. Well, guess I could make some more planks. Start making some more stuff that I want. So, oh yes, that's one of the things I'm gonna make. I'm gonna show you all some nonsense. One of my favorite mods ever. Behold, general efficiency. It's the wooden sluice. Okay, now I gotta find a place to put my wooden sluice. Yep. Come on. Yeah, you're gonna make me dig out 2, aren't you? Aren't you, game? Yeah, make me dig out 3. Temporarily. Temporarily, game, just to make you happy. There you go. Okay. That's what's going on there. That's why it wasn't working. Alright. Let me get my torch out so I can actually see. Get this fence out just so I can stand on that side of things. There we go. Okay. Now we can get the dirt back. And the fence. This dirt back. Yep. Time to bring back Prohibition. Have to hide all the alcohol. Have it all underground. I mean, we actually do store a lot of it underground in the game, in our server. There we go. Yes. Yes, behold, the great and powerful Sluice. Okay, bucket. Bucket, you can live right there. Good bucket. Now, I heard a goblin. Yeah, there's a goblin. What? I'm gonna get you, goblin. Okay. Alright, you came into my house. It was your mistake, goblin. Let's see this. There you go. Alright. Remind me to finish chiseling my 12-pounder canyon later. Nice. I approve the fact that you're chiseling a 12-pounder. I've never actually fired a 12-pounder. I fired a 6-pounder in real life. That was a lot of fun. A lot of powder, though. Expensive. Expensive. Alright. That's your sand. Yep, come here, sand. Muddy gravel, definitely come here. Right, I have more lifters, so let's condense stuff down. We have some more granite sand. Perfect. Anything else I need to condense down? You. It's rock. No, it looks like all. Okay, perfect. Now time to show people what the great and powerful wooden sluice does. Behold the great and powerful wooden sluice. So I feed it this muddy gravel. Why is that not working? Muddy gravel, why aren't you working? Okay, what about you? Game? Why is my wooden sluice not working? Okay. What is going on? Okay. Oh. Fine, I'll get a bucket of water from somewhere else. We're gonna be that way about it, game. Let's see. Oh my goodness. That's true, you do have the recording of it, don't you? Okay. Right. So, sand. Yeah. Is this not working? Alright. I know for a fact sluices should work in that. We'll have to investigate. Well, I'll see why my wooden sluice is not working. That saddens me greatly. My sluice is not behaving. Wow, that's impressive. I might need more opening. That's true. Could be it. I'll have to investigate that here a bit more. Let me finish feeding my character, though, because my character's getting kind of hungry. It's the rift activity unit. Rift activity's low, so it's a good opportune time to go try it. Let's see here. Those are fine. That last bit. Wait, these cranberries real quick. Yeah, and he might have updated the mod since I last set one up. It's very loud thing outside. I mean, there's my crazy mod. Actually, what I could do... Yeah, we'll do it like this. I think I've got an idea here. General efficiency. Well, I have to be very careful here. Do it like this. There. Alright. Let's forget. Because this should be more than enough space for the sluice. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. You're right. It wasn't enough space. So for all my people who love to pan in Vintage Story, here's your auto pan. Now this uses the same drop table and percentages as the wooden pan from the vanilla game. If you use the wooden sluice, there's a more powerful version of this, which I have greatly abused on the community server as an experiment. General Efficiency can attest to my abusing of the iron sluice from this mod on the server, and the nonsensical amounts of drops you can get from it. in general, I've been using it to help our community members, though. And nothing stops them from doing the same thing. It was just an experiment I was running that has now become the backbone of, like, my workshop's economy on the server. It's just hilarious. But I love the wooden sluice, because you can now just wander off and it'll just pan all that dirt and stuff. I feel like I can fill this hole back in now since we didn't like this hole. Alright. That all done. And then, see, we can throw this... Part of the reason I have this muddy gravel here, once it's done with this, we can throw the muddy gravel in here and it'll pan out seeds. And that's a feature of the Wild Farming Revival mod that I'm running, which I thoroughly enjoy. Recommend that mod for people. If you're looking for a mod that adds to some of the farming stuff, it lets you do things like take berries and a knife and make berry bush seeds, or take flowers and a knife and make berry bush seeds, or take your wooden pan like you use for panning and say your flax grain or your spelt grain and make seeds for those that way. Alright, this on my hand anymore, so if I fall in the water I don't lose it. Take my sluice. Okay. Oh yeah, see, it stops. Yeah, it needs so many blocks of water. That's what it is. Oh, we got pork. Man, he hits hard. Good lord. I've never gotten to use a sluice for gold panning. I've done it. I've done like panning with a pan, you know. I've never gotten to use a sluice. My wife also won't let me buy one. She doesn't think we need a sluice. But I'm like, but dear, we could go pan for gold. It'd be great vacations. And the kid loves panning for gold. You know. And I have a friend that would absolutely go with us. And his wife would go with us. Because we would totally go to, like, Colorado or something, and up in some of those areas. There's still gold in the Rockies. Just have a great old, you know, gold panning, you know, holiday vacation. It has not convinced my wife that this is a good idea yet. There we go. Alright, so sluice is done. We've got a door now, so we can actually be like... Alright, let's throw this in here. Well, see, that's the thing. We were up there for a vacation like 2 years ago, over there in Colorado, up in the Silverton area, and there were claims for sale. There's also public land you can pan on, by the way. I just don't think you can set up a sluice there. Wow. On the public lands. I think you have to use a regular hand pan on the public lands. But they had some gold claims up there in and around the town of Silverton that were for sale. And I was just like, we could just go, you know, and get one of these claims. And the friends that we were traveling with, the same ones I mentioned, they probably would have been like, yeah, sure, and gone in on it with us so that we could split the cost. Yeah. I knew the husband absolutely would have. He was all about it. I was just like, we'll just buy one of these claims, we'll just build a little vacation cabin up here, then you'll have something to keep me distracted when we're on vacation, sitting here panning for gold. Let me grab my propig. So we're going to go do a little bit more mining. Simply because, you know, I've got the stuff. We're going to see if we can't get lucky and get some iron here. Should probably bring some food with me if I was smart. But you know what? I like to play this game a little dangerously sometimes. Let's see what we can do, because I know where there's an iron mine this way. that we found earlier on stream. Well, here's it. We found a good reading for an iron mine earlier on stream. Let's see. Let me go mark that. Very high. Yeah, if we want to. No, I don't want to delete that reading. That's the one we want to go to right there. Yeah, I remember learning to pan for gold when I was a kid, and then teaching my son to do it later on. We actually did that just last year is when I taught him to pan for gold on a different vacation. Matter of fact, the husband and wife team I was just talking about that we went on vacation to Colorado with, it was actually their wedding that we went to. While we were there, I taught my son to pan for gold at a little gold mine that was near where they got married. Yep. This way. But Alaska's on our list of places to go. Matter of fact, this June, end of June, it's coming up. We're going to Alaska as a family vacation. So the place where we got the really high reading was like right here, down in this hole. Okay. So we'll just go like straight down. What have I done to mess with my stuff? Hold on. Hold on. Interface. Interface. Where's it? Right. Help if I was actually looking at interface. Control V. That's what I need. Yep. Okay. We want our depth on, because we want to see how deep we are. We don't really want to bother looking for iron until we get about down to the 85-ish mark. Then we can start looking for iron with our pro pick. Because I think the maximum we can spawn up in altitude is 90 from bedrock. Basically, or from the mantle, because that's what they call it in this. Actually, we'll do this the more efficient ladder way. We'll skip every other one. Give us some ladders. Music just changed. Alright, so like what we can do here. Between Anchorage and Palmer is this place called besides fishing and black bears. Has this car abandonment area that's really interesting, especially for kids. Huh! Cool. I'm not sure exactly where I'll be going. I know we'll be going near going over to Skagway while we're up there on this trip. That's how I'm going to this. Yeah, nothing nearby that way. So we're probably not going to see any iron this high up. And it's probably not even worthwhile going this way. Just see if we see anything. I can hear a penguin. Yeah, nothing. So, we'll just keep going down a bit. I think this game also, with the mod, the Fantasy Creatures mod, I think you can also encounter, like, cave orcs and stuff. Like, cave varieties of orcs. Pretty sure I just saw something. And we'll go down about one more set or so. So we're basically going to check about every 10 levels. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so go this way a little bit. You wouldn't go fishing in Anchorage, too crowded. Find an Alaskan native guy that goes on a little boat and go fishing and get better stuff. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. I mean, I always prefer, talking to the natives in an area where I'm going to. Like our last big family vacation, we were traveling around in the Caribbean on a cruise, and one of the places we went was Honduras. And honestly, just talking to the locals there was probably the most interesting part of visiting Honduras. Nothing. Yeah, not surprised. Let's go down to about 70 and do another check. But as close as that penguin sounds, it almost sounds like it's fallen down in this mine shaft with me. Okay, 71, 70. Okay, we'll do our next check down here. And this is part of the reason you need multiple, like, tin bronze picks. There's this expensive museum in Anchorage. Models of the Alaskan Natives' homes. Okay, that's kind of cool. Hold on, give me a second, folks. On the Twitch chat, I've got a bot I need to get rid of their message from. There we go. Right, cool. Sorry about that. Had to get rid of a chat bot. Oh. Oh, we've got copper. Not hematite, but copper. What's funny is this is a low reading place for copper too. Alright. Found large amounts of native copper, so I'm guessing we're sitting on top of the copper. I'd guess. I bet this will be large as well. Medium amounts. Oh, no, we're not quite sitting on top of it. The copper's going to be like over that direction somewhere. So let's go down a little bit. We can hit the copper. Just for fun. Yep, there's the copper right there. Alright, well, we'll just go on past it. I'm not going to stop to mine the copper. We'll do another check when we get down around 60 or so here. Alright. We know we've got copper up there. Let's do another check real quick. Iron. Because iron can be pretty deep. It can almost be down to the mantle. And... oh, we got tin now. Alright. This mine's got like everything we want. We got tin, we got Copper. I just need to find iron and we'll be good to go. Right over here. Native copper that way as well. Okay. Actually, I didn't see what's the quality on this copper. Ah, it's rich. It's a rich vein too. Actually, no. Let's check the. Gotta do the cardinal. Gotta do all of them. Native copper that way too. Well, love. Let's check this way. Just make sure I haven't been like mining and not checking in the direction the iron actually is here. Considerite that way. So the considerite's going to be in that direction somewhere. Not going to be on too much longer though. Just seeing how if I can find some iron. That was my wife coming and telling me that, you know, I've been streaming for a while and it's getting close to time for me to end the stream because I've been streaming 3.5 hours almost. Oh, what's this? We found the tin. Okay. Oh, goodness. Alright. So what I'm going to do here, line this one out. Yep. And then grab. Oh, the soil's mildly useful to me, so I'll grab this. And like that. There. It's even decent quality tin too. Double the value I normally get. Let's do. I know I'm hungry. I got you. I got you. Let's make sure there's not like an iron vein like right here next to it or something. I doubt it, but we'll check. Nothing. Just this tin. So we'll go down just 1% here. And I'm out of ladders. Alright. Grab the rocks and leave. But that's the thing. Even though I've got like a high or a very high reading of iron here, doesn't mean I'm going to find it. Just double check this back direction here. Make sure I didn't like pass or something. Native copper. Oh, that's an interesting echo effect that I've got going on here. Oh, nothing there. Kind of what I expected. Let's just get up and out of here and go get some food. Everything but iron. Exactly. Like, I've got tin, I've got copper. Like, good amounts of both, too. Which is the crazy part. Like, it'd be great if I was, like, trying to get the tin bronze. I'd have it all right there. But I've got tin bronze. I mean, I'll probably still go and mine those out at some point. Just because, you know, tin bronze is always good to have. But I kind of want to push down to the bottom and see if I get that iron mine. Because I think it's a hematite vein, potentially, right? Yeah, hematite. And hematite veins are almost always just like massive. Matter of fact, with this playthrough and the goals of this playthrough, one hematite vein will probably be enough to see us all the way through to completing the goals that I have. Assuming I don't, you know, starve to get here and run through lives that way. There we go. Another fish. I don't have the inventory space for said fish. Okay. Let's see here. Where can I dump something? I can dump some rocks in here. Perfect. Yep. Stuff. Okay. And we're gonna these, not the juniper berries. Juniper berries are mildly poisonous. Alaskan Native Heritage Centers. Okay. I'll have to check that out. I'm all about stuff like that. Let's see here. Just like 2 of those. 2 of those. There we go. Pieces in there. Another place I want to go is I want to go up to the Glacier National Park at some point as well. Yeah. What's in here? Just gonna put like another storage chest like here in the back. Just deposit some of this stuff like that. That. There we go. There we go. Let's see how poisonous this is. Oh, I gain health from this. Wait. Hold on. Was I misreading this? These say minus 0.5 health. But when I cook them, I gain health. Okay. Protein, yep, +1 health. Okay. Note to self. Cooking with the juniper berries from now on. Too bad I don't have like anything else to cook with the juniper berries right now. I don't need those in there anymore. Let's see here. I'll eat some of these lingonberries here. Did I ever... I know several of y'all are probably new to my streams, but... So one of my, community members is a guy named he goes by Army Bacon. I was sitting here talking about, like, you know, different types of berries and stuff. And one of the berries that I was talking about is a berry called the sparkleberry. I don't know if anyone around here is familiar with said berry. If you are, I'll be impressed. Most people are probably not familiar with said berry. There's zoo, but it has been a very long time since I went. Oh, nice. I'll have to go. Well, see, now I have to make a trip to go and check that out. I'm gonna hunt some of these animals real quick. But I did some research and found out that the sparkleberry is actually apparently a type of lingonberry. Army Bacon did not believe me that it existed. Oh, it died from... Dang it. If it hadn't fallen to its death, I would have gotten more meat out of it. Because I don't need the antlers. There we go. Just gonna get my spheres back. Anyway. Not. All right. Gonna hunt down this caribou before it gets lost on me here. Where'd the blood trail go? Oh, another one fell to his death. Dang it. I need to make a saucepan in this game. I just realized. I've been limiting myself so much on food I could be making. I could be making things like saucepans. Alright, here we go. Let's get here real quick. Let's put this away. Let's put these in here. Alright, we got some more meat. So put one meat away. Actually, wait. Bone broth, bone broth. Yeah, see, here's some of the creatures that um, they add from the Fantasy Creatures mod, is like the different types of skeletons here. Soul Storm Slop provides no nutrition. It's possibly the most toxic liquid you've ever seen. Expanded foods. Okay. What about bone broth? Can't I make bone broth? Yeah, bone broth. Raw gelatin. There we go. Bone broth. Okay. 1 liter plus that equals 0.5 liters of bone broth. Let's see, just vegetable. No, that's right. I'm going to need vegetables for this. Bone broth plus more bones equals free gelatin. Raw gelatin. You then do, yeah, free gelatin plus that, plus water. Raw gelatin, which you can then use to make fish gelatin. Sorry, fish less. Okay. Plain gelatin. Gelatin. All right. Fruit bread, fruit bars are supposed to be really good, but I don't have peanuts. So I need syrup. Okay, that's the whole process. Well, what about the bone broth? Let's just go back to the bone broth here. It's only one saturation, but I can use it to make soups. Two to four slots of grain. What does adding bone broth to it, though? Now we'll consider the bone broth for the future. That'll be a future thing. All right. Okay, we don't need these antlers. let's make a soup though. There's two. We'll leave one of those there. Hear the goblins outside making noise. Have you made bone broth in real life? I've never made it in real life. I've used it, though. I've gotten bone broth and used it for things. Because I tend to use it in a lot of my higher protein type foods, so I like. Thought I had some more fat somewhere. Yep. Now I have used blood in my cooking. I make blood bread. It's a thing I make in real life. Which is probably why you're asking me, because I think you and I have had that very discussion there, the Mysterious Guy. I've probably made stuff that was part way to bone broth. Oh yeah, the fruit bread is super good in this game for like all the healing and stuff it's worth. I'm gonna have to make some weird traps out there. I heard that goblin. I was seeing if he'd come back around. Yeah. But no, I've never directly made bone broth. Now, I've obviously stewed stuff with bones in it, and stewed it until things were falling off the bone, and then removed the bones themselves. Like, I've made adobo, which is a Filipino dish, because, you know, my great-uncle was stationed in the Philippines during World War II, and he learned to cook it while he was there. And it's just a really good dish, too. And then there's, like, my grandmother's vegetable soup, as she called it, but they'll never serve it to a vegetarian, because it had beef in it. And she would stew beef bones in it when she did so. So, I don't know why she called it vegetable soup. I guess just because it had a lot of vegetables in it. I have no idea. Which really reminds me, I should really get her recipe from my aunt. That. There we go. Nice bowl of meat stew. We're gonna put that down. Cool. Is our goblin still out here, or do you wander off? Got my goblin whooping club. Oh wait, that's right, that's right. I can do the thing now. I can do the thing. I completely forgot. Reminds me of that guy who would call meat dishes vegetarian dishes because he was vegetarian. I mean, yeah, it does kind of sound like that, doesn't it? That is a completely fair and possibly accurate analogy. Like, I have no idea if that was the case with my grandmother, but, you know. She grew up in, like, the Great Depression era stuff, and so her interpretation of things is very different from, like, you know, a normal, what I would consider a normal person's interpretation of things. There we go. Throw these in here real quick. Oh, nice. So you are familiar with adobo sauce then. Nice. But basically, it's the Filipino adobo that I'm familiar with and all. It's basically you stew chicken and pork until they fall off the bone tender, mixed with rice, and then the seasonings are like thyme, cloves, rosemary. There's a few other seasonings you put in there. And yeah, very tasty. Very much an enjoyable dish. And now it's time for wooden torch holders. Yes. Yep. That up there. That there. Got some light up back. Nice. Gonna put one on the back side of the charcoal pit as well here. Put one like here on the back of the house. There we go. All hail the wooden torch holders. Lighten up my yard. Yeah, I'll do a ping for the lazarette run here in a second. Make sure I don't have any more fish on the line here. Nope. Matter of fact, what I'll do, since it's about time for my character to go to bed in the game, I'll do that real quick, and then I'll pause for just a second and go do that ping on the community Discord there. Do that real quick. Give me just a second, folks. Telling someone that they want to be on the Vintage Story server, just let me know and I'll get them added. But let's see here. Vintage Story. And... yeah. Let's see here. Can I add... Grid. There we go. I can spell tonight. Alright, here we go. Don't... let's see here. They call breakfast meal a day, but when I get breakfast, I feel either more tired or my stomach hurts really suddenly for no reason. That's interesting. I'm not sure. General efficiency, that's an interesting problem. Though I was that way for a while. And I had to like retrain myself. It was a bad habit I developed. From like my high school college days. I'm almost done here. Let's do one thing. Go. Alright. Alright, Jennifer, you see I got the pull going there. Alright. Sorry about that, folks. Minor delay. Okay, let's go outside here. Really quick. So we've got... Oh, yeah, see, there's a pig. Or an orc, I should say. He looks very confused by my positioning behind this fence. Come here, come back. Got it. There we go. Gotta get rid of that orc. Oh, nice. He brought us a steak. Such a good friendly orc. Bringing us some extra food. An extra spear. You know, I've not had to make a flint spear in a while because the orcs keep bringing them with them. I do like these fantasy creature mods. It's been a great mod to have. Oh, got another one. Where? Oh, you got me. Come on. See, another spear. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have so many spears. That was the right one. This one. Right foot moves. Like, look at this. I guess I got plenty of spears for hunting. Alright, well, let's see here if I can get out here and actually do my little outro here a little bit. Stand on top of the house. That's the other thing I need. I almost completely forgot to make barrels. Yeah, that's a good question. Does what you eat for breakfast affect how you feel? Need barrels for stuff. Alright. Well, folks, I think we're going to call this stream there. I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening. I unfortunately do have to get up in the morning and do weekly grocery shopping and all that, and I've got, an 8-year-old who doesn't understand sleeping in. So, thank you all so much. I hope everyone enjoyed. And catch you all in the next stream, because this is going to be my primary vintage story streaming series now. It's going to be the Snowball Earth. Since I've finished my vanilla playthrough. And of course, we'll be doing occasional streams on the community server, depending on what we've got going on. So, thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great one, and we'll catch you all in the next one.